Your perspective on yesterday's market moves on the back of what seemed to be online warfare between Trump and Musk.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate and very unnecessary spat between two very powerful individuals who have the potential to move markets. And we really saw that and felt that yesterday. At the end of the day, the question really was like, who holds more power? Because that seemed to be the trajectory of the spat. Where we settled for the time being is that Mr. Trump seems to have won it. And you really saw that because of the potential impact for cash flow. If SpaceX had been a publicly traded company, you might have seen something similar for that particular name as well. But frankly, they need each other. And so I'm really glad to see them toning down the rhetoric and taking a little pause to cool down, because the government needs that public-private partnership in order to make this country great. And also, Tesla needs better regulations or friendly regulations, and SpaceX needs the government as well. So they're going to have to work together, whether they like it or not.
We've focused a lot, Anna, on Elon Musk and the Elon Musk proportion of what's been happening. Is there still an element of headwind, risk, uncertainty for the technology investor in the market from the president?
So this takes us to the tariff question, right? And just recently, you were just reporting about rare earth minerals from China and making it available to automakers. And that's really great news. And at the heels of the Xi-Trump conversation yesterday, which was a step in the right direction, I think this is an olive branch to take the conversation further. We may expect to see maybe Mr. Trump going to China or Xi Jinping coming into the United States, and that would be a huge step. But we do need to make headway because we are at a détente. I do think that the Trump administration has undermined the difficulty of negotiating with people who may not just respond to threats. They called our bluff. 145% tariffs, and they didn't blink, right? In fact, they told us they wouldn't respond at all. So I think it's going to take a lot more nuanced negotiations. And I would look at this rare earth minerals news as an opening for a good faith negotiation.
There are people I've spoken to who would say, I look at the rare earth situation and wonder what the United States can do in the context of a trade negotiation. One idea is a quid pro quo where rare earths access on favorable terms would be exchanged for semiconductor access that's codified in the AI context. That sounds messy, doesn't it?
It sounds very messy, and I'm very skeptical. So the question is, who holds the cards? China certainly holds the cards on rare earths. But in many ways, that is the only thing that they have the cards on where we absolutely need it. We hold the cards on the massive consumer base and also influence in other countries as well, as we've seen through all of this negotiation process. So even though Jensen Huang would love for us to lower the export controls on AI chips, I just don't see that happening, because if we make it available to them, it still doesn't guarantee that China isn't going to be making strides in creating their own chips and designing them. So I don't see U.S. giving up on it. And that takes me to what may the solution actually look like at the end. Well, if we're at a détente and China is a national security issue, then what are we willing to compromise? Probably not much, in which case we may actually end up in a similar place where we started, where nobody is giving up on anything. And that's, to borrow Shakespeare's words, much ado about nothing for all of this drama.
All of this drama involves other people than President Trump and Elon Musk. And there are some very focused technology experts advising the White House. One of them is David Sachs. There was a lot of concern about what the ripple effects of this feud might have on him. But thus far, AI policy, crypto policy more broadly, has it been in the right direction from your perspective?
I think in the right direction in terms of doing not much about it, yes. I do think that on the hardware side, yeah, there's going to be some questions about making certain chips available, et cetera. But on the software side, we have to be continuing to develop, because at the end of the day, that's where the race is right now. It's not just on the chips. The chips we're very excited about. Data centers we're very excited about. But it's really the going beyond the proof of concept and making it more productive for not only American citizens, but global citizens around the world. Taking that step is the race. And I think they just need to be left alone in some ways so that they can continue to innovate. And also that innovation will come with being able to protect from the bad actors, because ultimately that rounds out the national security issue.